Which cryptocurrency is being attacked by the SEC after XRP? How long will crypto holders believe in Ripple? How much will XRP cost in mid-2020? 3. We will answer all these questions in today's video. In recent weeks, the XRP community has been quite optimistic. The price of XRP shot up as optimism about Ripple's chances of winning its lawsuit against the U.S. suit against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, reached new heights. But CNBC Mad Money commentator Jim Cramer's recent comments that the SEC may lose its lawsuit against Ripple have given the community more cause for anxiety. Cramer is heard saying in the video that has gone viral on crypto Twitter, SEC says, look, they're generating securities day after day after day. There's a Ripple case. They may not even win the Ripple case. But the Binance is very, very different. It's important to put the pundits' forecasts in perspective by remembering that history shows his projections seldom come true in either the conventional or cryptocurrency markets. One reason is because, inadvertently, he promotes the buy high, sell low strategy. Recently, he has put his trust in Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic Bank, which turned out to be a mistake. The former went bankrupt earlier this month, and First Citizens is buying it up. The latter, on the other hand, is seeking to plug a $12 billion hole in its balance sheet before it can go back on the market. While Inverse Cramer has already dismissed XRP as a scam, the XRP community hasn't had anything to worry about until recently. Cramer's comments that Ripple had a chance of winning the SEC action prompted a price drop in XRP, according to attorney John E. Deaton, who is representing thousands of XRP holders as a friend of the court in the case. After hearing Deaton's comments, a local resident dubbed Cramer's backing the kiss of death. After many days of double-digit percentage increases, XRP is now down 1.39% in the previous 24 hours. Using the adage, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Another commenter expressed hope that Cramer's forecast in the Ripple would be one of the rare times the pundit would be true. Someone other argued that it doesn't matter since the pundit didn't say it with his customary conviction. Yet he still thought it was a narrow escape. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple Labs, has spoken out against the chairman of the United States. Gary Gensler of the SEC has been criticized for defining some crypto tokens as securities. Thursday, Garlinghouse tweeted, "It's incomprehensible that the chair of the SEC would claim that he, and not the statute from which his agency draws its jurisdiction, determines what constitutes a security. Politicians in the United States need to take this seriously. Why would you ever want to offer clarity about what's in or out when you act like an authoritarian overseeing a $2.02 be bloated agency?" Garlinghouse warned against assuming authority from gray areas of responsibility. In response to Gensler's assertion that existing securities laws cover most of the activity that's happening in the crypto markets, Ripple's executive said not to undermine inadvertently through definitions of what's in or out, or in essence allowing for conflicts that we don't allow. Gensler is the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Several of the proposed legislative vehicles, if enacted, would weaken the securities mandate, in my opinion. Since December 2020, when the SEC first sued Ripple, Garlinghouse and co-founder Chris Larsen, the business has been in the middle of a legal battle with the securities regulator. Ripple and Garlinghouse have maintained their stance that XRP is not a security, despite the SEC's claims to the contrary. The necessity of Bitcoin exchanges and lending platforms coming in to discuss SEC compliance is something Gensler has brought up on several times. But Garlinghouse has claimed that the securities regulator is just meeting with cryptocurrency firms to gather information for its enforcement division. Companies operating in the cryptocurrency area have voiced concerns that it is difficult to assure compliance since the SEC does not give clear regulatory requirements. The SEC recently issued a Wells notice to Coinbase, a cryptocurrency exchange listed on the Nasdaq, alleging possible breaches of the securities law. The SEC will not allow crypto firms come in and register. "We tried," the firm said in response. Nevertheless, Gensler has maintained that all crypto tokens other than Bitcoin are securities. The lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC has amped up anticipation for a resolution. Pro-XRP attorney James K. Fallon had predicted that Judge Annalisa Torres' ruling would be issued before the end of March, and this was relied upon by some members of the XRP community. XRP holders started to watch in bewilderment as his prognostication did not come true. As many XRP backers have been left wondering why Judge Torres didn't rule yesterday as expected, CryptoLaw founder attorney John Deaton has identified the few people who may have inside information as to when the ruling will be issued. Deaton claims that only Judge Torres' staff and the court clerk would know when a decision in Ripple V's SEC will be made. According to Deaton, only her staff and any clerks who helped her with research or helped the decision will know before the judge publicly issues her ruling. His most recent claim is a rebuttal to XRP supporters' assumption that Ripple and SEC officials will be aware of the date. It's worth noting that Deaton's remark follows just a few hours after he said it could be up to 60 days before Judge Torres issues a ruling. Specifically, many XRP supporters were let down when Judge Torres did not issue a ruling on March 30. One is predicted by Fallon. In response to a question, Denton explained that the deadline for Judge Torres to issue a summary judgment was not yesterday. He said the judge's decision could come as soon as this hour or as late as 2 months from now. Deaton stated that based on Judge Torres's past cases, summary judgment is typically issued by the court a few months after Daubert's motions have been decided. Deaton is actively involved in the lawsuit as an amicus curiae representing the XRP community, friend of the court. In his role as amicus curiae, Deaton is rooting for Judge Torres to rule in favor of XRP investors by determining that secondary market trades of the cryptocurrency do not constitute a security. Yesterday, Deaton discussed 4 potential positive outcomes from the lawsuit that could benefit XRP holders. Deaton hypothesizes that in any of the 4 possible outcomes, Judge Torres will rule that XRP secondary market transactions do not constitute securities. But Deaton said he would try to get the judge to clarify the crypto asset. Just like he did with the El Bree case, if Judge Torres grants a summary judgment in SEC's favor and fails to comment on XRP,